Hi. Uh-huh. So let's just get some things out of the way. Yes, I can hear your questions. I can see the way you are giving yourself a headache, pondering, wondering, pondering on that question. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, this was filmed the same day as 23, Luke chapter 23. Yes, actually, I read them the same day, so I decided to film them the same day. You can't read chapter 23 and then fail to read chapter 24 because it's like 24 is like the culmination. 24 is the like peak of 23 because 23 I believe my table is right here. 23, yeah, 23 ends with where Jesus has been buried and the women were waiting to go and uh, the women from Galilee followed and saw the tomb where they placed his body. Then they went home and prepared spices and ointments to embalm him. By the time they were finished, it was Sabbath, so they rested all that day as they required by law. So of course you have to continue reading to verse 24, but very early on Sunday morning, at least for me, it was obvious. So yep, that's it. So welcome to this mini documentary series. Yeah, so let's start. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 13. Good morning. This is in Luke chapter 8. Once again. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 9 in this rain. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 11. Now, hello and welcome to Vlogmas Day 15. What I eat in a day. What inspired all this? And is this my first time doing this? No. So this is my second time, if I'm not wrong, reading the book of Luke during Christmas. The first time I tried it, I did, but I did it via posts. Like I would read Luke chapter 1 and then whatever lesson I would have written, like in carousel format, and I think I did it on Facebook, if I'm not wrong. Was it Facebook? Yes, I think I did it on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, Facebook or Instagram in a platform that was called Proverbs 27:17. Yeah, so there was a page that was called Proverbs 27:17. I did that. I'm not so sure if I did it with friends or alone, but I did that, and then whatever lesson I had, I wrote it down and then I posted every single day. So this is not the first time, and I always loved the idea of reading the book of Luke during Christmas. You can read any other gospel really, but I love the idea of reading the book of Luke mainly because it has 24 chapters. Maybe there's another gospel that has 24 chapters, but I love this. It has 24 chapters, and the first time I was getting this idea, because it was not mine or it was not inspired, I learned it from someone. Again, I think either it was on FB or IG. Somebody was like, in this Christmas season, read at least a chapter of Luke every day and share with somebody what you have learned. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And I think I did it that way from there. And if not that I'm talking about it, I think I did it twice or thrice. So either this is my fourth time or this is the third time. Because the first time I just did, I remember doing just general, like the way I've done general. The second time, I think I focused on the miracles of Jesus. I also remember myself focusing on the sermons of Jesus. So either this is my fourth or my fifth time or my least third time. Although I only remember myself sharing once. Yeah. So the other times I just studied the book of Luke, but I studied it for myself. So I think sharing like on a public platform once, but reading the book of Luke during Christmas, I think this is either the fourth, the third, or the fifth time. I'm not wrong. And what inspired it is whoever it is that shared on either IG or Facebook that read the book of Luke, a chapter a day during Christmas, and by the time it is Christmas 25th, you've the previous day you have done Luke 24. That way you are actually celebrating with purpose, which I loved the idea and it was working for me, and I did it. Is it a must for somebody to read the book of Luke? No, you can even read an Old Testament, honestly, if you want to. You don't have to read, you don't have to like read the book of Luke. You can read whichever book. The main purpose for this is to refocus ourselves so that we don't focus on sherehe sana mpaka unasahau why, so that even when you're in festive mood on Christmas nini, you remember that we are celebrating the birth of Jesus. And yes, I know there is the question, was he really born on Christmas Day? Whether he was born or not on that day, for me, it's not important. As long as we remember our why is not the specific date out. Our why is celebrating the fact that Jesus was born on earth, and because of his birth, we have the grace of salvation, and we thank God for that. And that is what we're celebrating, the birth of Jesus, and the fact that due to his birth and even his death, which comes on Good Friday, and his resurrection on Easter Monday, we have the grace of salvation. And it all started with the birth. If the birth didn't happen, we will not have the crucifixion, we will not have the resurrection. So we thank God for his birth and we are celebrating it. But if it offends you, I'm not here to condemn you. So if it offends you, sorry. Actually, stop watching this video, or you can watch it, whichever works for you. But for those of us who celebrate, because most of us now celebrate the wrong thing, we just celebrate without knowing why. So I think it is good, it refocuses you. Now you don't have to only study the book of Luke. You can study any other book that you want. Come to Vlogmas Day 4, behind the scenes, for content. I'm finishing the last bit for 2026 content. The world versus the word. The world. This is a sign that you are in a healthy. One thing to not tell introverts if you're trying to encourage. Welcome to behind the scenes of this season. Which episode do I remember the most? The answer is so obvious. I remember the first episode. I remember the first episode and the last episode. Okay, not the last. I remember the first and day 16. I remember the first episode because one, I was so excited. I was like, yes, so we are doing this now in a video format. So we are doing this. I was super excited. I was like, yay, let's go. And then on that day, I was cooking a lot of things. I was cooking cassava. I love muhogo frying, cassava fried. I love it. So I was looking forward to that. I was cooking a lot of food. I was listening to an audio book, an audio novel, which I love, although I had to drop it because of reasons I can't go into right now. But I remember that day because I was doing so much. Of course, I was excited because it was day 1. I was doing so much. And yeah, so it is that the excitement of day 1 and the fact that I was cooking and there was so much to do. And then I was like, wow, it's good to
ran my fingers down its spine to check for abnormalities. So you have a marketing degree? Yes, but it doesn't teach you how to do what I do. I mean, it does a little bit. I had less than an hour. I had to go. I came in and hugged him and he folded around me. I read out and also, was he coming?
And now it was boga kienyeji, which is already done. If you can call this batch cooking, we have nduma, we have kienyeji, we have cassava, we have skuma wiki. So this will take me for quite some time because it covers both breakfast and somewhat. Now, I remember day 16 because it's like the opposite of day 1. Every day 16, because if you've watched it, you know. Day 16, as I was doing the edits, and I realized that I lost footage. I was like, that thing, I cannot forget it. Because I until date, I don't understand. I don't remember seeing myself delete those footage. So I'm like, where did those footage go to? Because I saw myself editing those videos. I saw myself doing all that I did. So I'm like, where did those footage go to? And if you know how hard it is for me to film, iliniuma. I was so sad. I was so disappointed. I was like, you know what? It has happened. It has happened. I have lost another footage. I've lost another footage of what I was eating. I'm feeling very this. You've just seen the time lapse, and I'm feeling very, very decorative. Today is Vlogmas day 16, and I was doing editing for some Vlogmas videos because I don't film in real time. I batch film and then I edit and then I post. I cannot. If I was to film in real time, I will do nothing. It doesn't work out for me that way. I am extremely disappointed because yesterday, as I don't know, when I sent those videos, I saw myself send those videos to this phone. Now I'm wondering, where have they gone to? Zimeenda wapi? Zimepotea wapi? I have the first clip, I have the second clip, and then there's no third clip, and then there's no fourth clip. Surely. Challenges experienced. There are so many challenges. The first challenge is myself. I am my biggest challenge, if you asked me. And I remember I was sharing a particular episode that I was talking about, I think it is 23 or 22 or 21, but in the 20s. I was talking about the opposition that Jesus faced. My Bible is here, so let me just check. Chapter 20. And where Jesus was facing the question of authority, like with whose authority was he chasing out those nations from the temple. Now that is the biggest challenge, because every time as I was doing this, I was like, like, who do you think you are to do this? Because first of all, my audience is not that big. Second of all, I use a lot of natural lighting. I don't have a mic, so even as I'm editing the videos, I hear my voice and I'm like, where the voice iko chini. And thirdly, sometimes there's a lot of noise in the neighborhood. Again, if you had a mic, that would solve that problem. So I have nothing against my neighbors. It is the fact that I don't have a mic. And then there was our lovely dog that kept barking. And say that dog, those dogs, when they show up until the very end, they have. And then the fact that I don't know how to remove like background noise. Again, if I had a mic, it would be so much better. I don't have lighting, so I either use natural light or I just use normal easy bulb light. So, and you can tell even from my lighting even. So there were a lot of challenges. There was that and I was like, hey, are these videos quality? And then people love quality stuff in the era that we live in, which is okay. I also love quality stuff. I watch a lot of things. So because because of this challenge, I watch high production stuff and I also watch low production stuff. Like I watch very small YouTubers and most of them, their production is low. I watch them, I enjoy them. Yeah, and I also watch those who like have lighting and all that stuff. So the fact that there's no lighting, I don't have mic, and we have the question of volume and space. Space was a big issue because I'm using internal space for my phone. My laptop stopped working. I'm not offended because that laptop has overstayed. I can't complain. So the fact the laptop has stopped working, there's no space and all that stuff. So there was that. And then there was the fact, so that was my biggest challenge. I was like, will I really finish? Will I not? Even as I was starting in day 1, I was like, will I really reach day 24? Even as I'm doing this, I'm like, well, kudos. I have not even edited some videos, but I'm like, kudos, because again, there is the space. There is the fact that you question, on what authority do you have to do this? Who on earth even has time to listen to you? Who even has time to watch you and all that stuff to come in? So the fact that I question myself a lot, and all these challenges and what is, what's not. So the biggest challenge is myself, and then the rest, the lack of equipment, the lack of space in the phone. Because also I'm also filming content for next year, so I still need space for that. So the fact that I don't have mic and I feel like I'm making noise for my neighbors, I'm like, ugh, so on and so forth. And the fact that the audience is like small, really literally small, I'm like, what? Nataka wakiniuliza nitasema, nitajibu. So there is that. So biggest challenge myself, and then lack of equipment, lack of lighting, lack of hizo vitu zote hivyo. And then, so I think that's the biggest challenge myself, and then the fact that I lack equipment, audience, I think that's the biggest challenge. And morale inakujanga kipotea, so not really, but yeah. I'm inserting this video here because yes, it was filmed during Vlogmas, but mainly because I am seriously craving these pants because I'm extremely hungry. Editing inaniachanga na njaa, it makes me so hungry. So even as I edit, I am feeling so hungry and I cannot help but crave for these scones. And I'm here to report, even as we end in Vlogmas day 24, I am yet to find these scones. Sijazipata, I've not found them, and it's making me even more hungry. I am hungry even as I edit this Vlogmas day 24. Well, but ni sawa, iko tu sawa. Lessons. Now for lessons, I'd say this. Lessons that I've learned, again, okay, I'm like, what lessons? Anyway, the lessons that I've learned through this, actually, I can't seem to find any lesson. But I'd say this, I am proud of myself that I've seen it through up to this point. Now I hope, because I'm not through with editing, I hope I'll finish editing and actually upload every single day, because I can't film all this and then fail to upload. May I upload every single day by the grace of God. So the lessons, I'm like, I don't know. I can't sing lessons. The only thing I'm like, I'm proud. I did this. Maybe I need to buy a mic. I think that will make my work so much easier. Yeah, any other lesson is, okay, for now I don't have lessons. Maybe in the future I'll have lessons. A random scene of me washing utensils. And because I cooked a lot during Vlogmas, thanks to filming require a lot of eating, I ended up washing a lot of utensils, but it's part of the process. Will I do this again? I'm not so sure. I would like to do this again, God willing, come next year, but certain things will have had to change. One of them is I should make sure by the time I'm doing Vlogmas, I should be done with filming any other thing, because filming Vlogmas in the midst of other things is a bit difficult. So I should make sure by the time I'm filming Vlogmas, I should be done with any other filming that I'm supposed to be doing. Number two, if I'm to do it, I don't know if I should go the weekly way, because we also have Vlogmas weekly. So we have Vlogmas daily, like what I've been doing, and then we also have Vlogmas weekly. So you only have 3 weeks, week 1, week 2, week 3, which seems much easier and much better. But again, I might still do this again. Who knows? So only time will tell. The questioning of the authority, where we get the authority to do the things that we do, we also experience this. So our encouragement should be in knowing that we have authority in Christ Jesus. If you have been called maybe to be a worshiper, you have the authority in Christ Jesus, because you are serving Jesus. And even when it comes to sharing Christ, sharing Christ is not something that is left to pastors only. It is for everyone, for you, for me. And I know it is easy to think only the pastors, because perhaps they present the gospel in such, in such excellent manner. You're like, to achieve to our no. It is for as long as you have been born again, it is our duty to share Christ with the next person. So even when you find that question asking you, like, who are you to share Christ with someone else, say, I am the child of God, I am Jesus' disciple, and as such I have been called. It is my mandate actually to go out there and share Christ with the next person. So most of the time we will experience this challenge, where you will find, you'll hear yourself ask yourself, on whose authority are you doing whatever it is that you're doing? And when this question comes to your mind, remember, you are doing what God has called you to do in the name of Jesus. So you have the authority from Jesus Christ. The episode I was looking for the most to film was for 23, what I ate, everything I ate in during Vlogmas. But again, because of space, I could not film every single thing I ate, and also mainly because I kept forgetting. I would eat, enjoy the meal, and then 10 hours later I'm like, I didn't film that. So I was really looking forward, and how it unfolded is not how I planned, how I had designed. I had designed for it to have like a little bit story, like hey, that like hey, this is day one and this is my meal. Hey, this is day two and this is my meal. Hey, this is day three and this is my meal. Even so, that is what I had in mind, but that is not what happened. Mainly because of space, two because of the various challenges I had. One of them being space, so that didn't happen. But still, I was really looking. That was what I was looking forward to film the most. The most outstanding lesson from the entire book of Luke. So I'd start with the one in verse 20, maybe because it's the most recent, where it talks about whose authority, because it's something I can relate to. I like there's one in verse 22, was it 23? I don't even know if, because I'm not yet to edit day 22, day 23, where I'm talking about, I don't know if I will present it the same way I've edited it, because I keep questioning myself, because I talk about in verse 22, verse 23, I take a look at the question of salvation, but specifically to those who have issues with Jesus. Now, there are those who have issues with Jesus, not from the demonic aspect. There are those who I only want God, but I don't want Jesus. And they question why Jesus. So I struggled with the fact that who am I to share that. So it took me to the lesson in verse 20, like on whose authority am I talking about that. And then I told myself, I am Jesus' disciple. I have been called to talk about him. Our main will is to know God and to make him known. So if this will help somebody, and it may not even lead them to be born again, it may plant a seed, it may water. So whatever it is that you'll be doing, let me just share it, because I have been called to share about Jesus. So I struggled a lot with that, because I was like, who are you to share about Jesus? Allah, are you a pastor? Who are you? But I still shared it. So verse 20, the challenges or the challenges that we face, I was not looking at it from temptation, but the challenges that we face. Because there was that, on whose authority do you do whatever you're doing? And then number two, it was the question of law. I don't break laws per se, but I am ignorant of some laws. So there was the question of that. And then thirdly, there was the question of theology, or sorry, the question of Bible knowledge. If people ask me, if God is so good, then why do bad things happen? If people is so good, if God is so good, why do we still have hell? There are some certain questions that I'm not able to respond to yet. So, but chapter 20, the lesson chapter 20 really stood out the most for me. Then there was the chapter where it talked about women, and then I was sharing how women were they were part and parcel of Jesus' ministry, and they supported. So women were part and parcel of Jesus' ministry. Therefore, women have a right to be part of ministry, because there's some people who believe women should stay away from ministry. And then in that same Nani, we were talking about women giving. Women gave their finances to God. So it does not mean that only women should support church ministries, but it showed it is okay to support some of these ministries. So let's take a snippet. In Luke chapter 8, once again, I have questions. And I know I can always Google, but again, I would like to hear from you. And if you can't tell, today I'm sitting on the floor, if you can't tell. Did you need to know that? No, but hey, let's continue. And when I was reading Luke chapter 8, I could not go beyond verse 1 to 3. I did read the entire chapter, but my mind stayed here. And this is women who followed Jesus. So number one, for those who have issues with women being in ministry, at least here we see, first of all, in the beginning when we started, we found that there was a prophetess called Anna. She was a prophetess, she was a woman, she was in ministry. And then here we have Jesus, who was being supported by women. Then two, for those who normally think that women should not do anything in church, they should just keep quiet, we have Jesus allowing women to give to his ministry. And then number 3, there are also those people who have issues with giving towards either church or any ministry, because sometimes you'll go to YouTube and then you'll find people saying, if you've enjoyed this podcast or if you've enjoyed this ministry, you can support us by giving towards this M-Pesa number. Then they give the pay bill number, and then they give the account number. There are people who are normally offended. They're like, why are you doing this? It is okay. It is okay to support these ministries. It is even okay to support that podcast. It is not bad if you are enjoying their services. So this has been it. So this has been Vlogmas Day, the Vlogmas 2025 edition. So let's just see if we can watch it in speed. So thank you so much for your time, for being with me, for here. Yes, is this even how a documentary? Is this even a documentary? I'm just deciding to call it a mini documentary. Is this a mini documentary? I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, we have come to the end of it, and by the grace of God, tomorrow is Christmas. And since I can't sing, stop. Anyway, tomorrow is Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Remember, if you can, share whatever it is that you have with somebody that lacks. Usisherehekee tu peke yako. If you can't invite somebody, share whatever you have with the next person. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and Jibambe, and may God meet you at your point of needs. May God remember the desires of your heart. May He bless you in ways that only He can. May He meet you at your point of needs. May He remember your heart's prayers, and may He grant you the desires of your heart that are good, because some of our desires are not good. May He grant you the desires of your heart that are good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for here for now. And remember, I know I already made this announcement, but remember, this, by the grace of God, this is like the last episode. The next time I'll be uploading anything, it will be on Feb, because we are taking a break. Now we are taking a break, Christmas break, and then January is normally our prayer and fasting month. So we upload nothing, we do nothing, we just pray. So the next time we will come on will be on Feb. So, and I'll encourage you, again, it's not a religious thing really, but I'll encourage you to fast and pray during the month of January. Commit your year to God. But if you want to do it on December, if you want to do it on March, it's okay. It is not a religious thing. You will not be a sinner if you don't fast on January, but it's just a good thing. So I'd like to encourage you to set apart the month of January to fast and pray and to commit the year before God. If you don't feel burdened to do so, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. It's okay. However, on January, we won't be posting. So from this is the last thing that you'll be seeing. The next thing, God willing, will be on Feb. So I just thought it is wise to let you know, although I've made this announcement, so I'm just reminding us that as we go for Christmas, the next time, by the grace of God, you'll hear from us is on Feb. And remember, we have our new episodes. We have Unwind, we have Monthly Dosia, and then we have the normal content. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. God bless you, and for the amazing time. Merry Christmas and a happy New Year. And as the millennial that I am,